It is my pleasure to welcome you to this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health, where you get updates on the activities of NAFDAC aimed at safeguarding the health of the nation. My name is Amanda Ugo. On this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health, we'll be starting with the visit of the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council and her team to NAFDAC Laboratory Complex, Oshodi, where she was conducted round the regulatory agency's well-equipped laboratories by the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, and her team, to deliberate on possible ways of collaborating towards combating the rejecting of exports by other countries and increasing Nigeria's foreign exchange. In the second segment, we'll be bringing highlights of the raid by officials of the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate from the Kaduna office of NAFDAC to Maxcare Pharmaceutical Stores in Wuse, Abuja, where Schedule 1 narcotics, a type of controlled substance, was found to be stocked and sold against NAFDAC's guideline. The diverse responsibilities of NAFDAC, which all come under one umbrella of safeguarding the health of Nigerians, also encompasses the obligation of playing a role in the increase of Nigerians' foreign exchange by ensuring that the products under its regulatory purview are of the best quality, fit for export and use in other countries of the world. However, there have been allegations from certain quarters that NAFDAC does not have the right equipment to test products for export.
A lot of the capital projects, like equipment, we have to raise money from our internally generated revenue or user fees, the money that clients pay to get their products approved or not approved. So we get money from such. And what we have been able to do is to be more prudent in how to spend that money. So we have been using the money from our own user fees, a little from the IGR portion, which is you find somebody that violates, that's IGR. But the government has supported us for the chemical lab, OPCW lab, and also now for the vaccine lab in terms of equipment. So in terms of what we are now doing, our lab has scaled through. Our labs have scaled through. If not, we will not get the recommendations. WHO came because there are so many recommendations under lab testing. If not, they wouldn't have said, oh yeah, you have satisfied our recommendations. Again, that is not a full stop. So we have more confidence now in the results that we are getting. We also have an approach that has added up to us being given a good report for now in terms of the recommendations, in the sense that we are now using risk-based approach to sample products that we're going to test in the lab. In spite of NAFDAC's efforts under the leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye to ensure that the agency's laboratories are of world class and that the laboratories earn global recognition for their best standards, regulated products under NAFDAC's purview which are exported continue to get rejected. This worrisome situation some time ago necessitated a meeting between the NAFDAC Director General and the UK Food Standards during a workshop on Nigeria-UK Enhanced Trade and Partnerships. Part of the issues raised by NAFDAC at the meeting was the unabated reject of Nigerian food products and the non-notifications on such rejects. A press conference was called by the NAFDAC DG after the meeting on the challenges causing the export reject as pointed out at the meeting.
Non-compliance with advisory guidelines established by NAFDAC to encourage participatory exports. Almost all exported food products are processed without the statutory testing by NAFDAC. Therefore, it is not surprising that all the items exported without NAFDAC quality control and safety tests are rejected. Non-utilization of hitherto free laboratory testing by NAFDAC for export samples, coupled with connivance of unscrupulous agents, is a second reason. Exclusion of NAFDAC's requirements for its regulated products in the mandatory pre-shipment inspection in the National Export Supervision Scheme, NES, as administered by the federal government-appointed pre-shipment inspection agents called PIAs.
Recently, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Mrs. Noye Ayeni, and her team paid a courtesy visit to the NAFDAC laboratory complex in Oshodi. The purpose of the visit was to deliberate on ways through which NAFDAC and the NEPC can collaborate to stem the tide of export rejection of products made in Nigeria by ensuring that products for export go through the necessary laboratory testing and are made to be of internationally acceptable standards. The Director General, joined by the Director, Laboratory Services, Dr. Charles Nwachukwu, conducted the team from the NEPC round the various specialized laboratories of NAFDAC.
This is where we do pesticide residue. You had it mentioned. Okay. This is the preparation room.
Preparation room
for that pesticide. We have for the residues. You know, our people used to use residue in the storage of their grains. There are so many they use. Even in the farm during production cropping, they use herbicides and some pesticides to protect the plant, to the crop. Those crops, and even weeding, these days people do not want to weed, they want to spray, and those ones will contaminate the products.
Okay.
So that is the residue we look for. What level of it is in the food? Okay. In any type of food, it could be fish, it could be grain, cereal, and all that. Including, this is what we even use in doing the contaminant that was mentioned, Mr. outside. Most people just take a little bit of cocoa and cocoa chocolate, the powder, cocoa powder, and mix it with talc.
Talc. What's that?
Talc is a kind of powder.
Okay.
And mix it so that they will, because cocoa is more expensive than those
so
things.
they mix it too.
So you mix it and it becomes, you will see it by plenty and they make more money.
The Director General of NAFDAC expressed her delight at the visit of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council.
This is a great day for NAFDAC, for NEPC, and for Nigeria. Because we have the culture of working in silos. There was a misconception about NAFDAC laboratories that we don't have enough equipment to test products that are meant for export. But I believe that this trip has changed minds. We have invested a lot on equipment because analysis of equipment is very costly. And we've gone around many labs in Oshodi. We are in Oshodi lab right now. I put a lot of premium on quality because quality sells. If it is quality, it will not be rejected. And we've had a history of our products being rejected in other countries, and it is high time we stop it. It is high time we stop the shame, we reduce the shame that brings to Nigeria. Beans, sesame seed, and this collaboration with NEPC and other agencies, I believe it is the biggest thing that can happen in terms of making the president's goals to be realized, which is considering the local content and impacting the global access to different markets, and bringing a lot of forex back into our country.
The CEO of the Nigerian Exports Promotion Council also commended NAFDAC's efforts.
The whole place is very neat, so I find it very exciting. That's the starting point. So anywhere you enter and the place is neat, that shows what that particular institution is doing. And before I came here, I've always known that NAFDAC does great things, but coming here has opened my horizon. There are quite a number of things that I didn't know that we're doing. A lot of equipment, a lot of things that can help export. I believe NEPC, who has been charged with promoting and developing non-oil export, I think this will come in very handy. Some of the information that we're open to today, we'll also find ways of passing it on to the exporters. And I believe that together NEPC and NAFDAC will collaborate and all get towards the renewed hope of Mr. President, His Excellency Mr. President, and also our Honorable Minister, who have charged us to see what we can do to improve on the Nigerian non-oil export towards increasing foreign exchange flows to the country. So I think this is a good one. And together, NEPC, that's Nigerian Export Promotion Council, and NAFDAC, with other agencies, we work together to achieve great success in that regard. There's a lot to be done, a whole lot to be done, but the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So we're determined, we're committed, we remain resolute to ensure that we improve the non-oil export in Nigeria.
NAFDAC and Your Health continues after the short break. Stay with us.
NAFDAC has observed with dismay the wanton illegality of unlicensed vendors peddling drugs to unsuspecting members of the public, despite efforts aimed at tackling the menace of drug hawking. NAFDAC hereby advises the general public to desist from buying drugs from these merchants of death. Drugs sold by hawkers are fake, counterfeit, and substandard. The hawkers expose the drugs to inclement weather, which degrades their active ingredients since they are stored in conditions that render drugs poisonous. The drugs could therefore damage the liver and kidney or lead to the death of the consumer. Drug hawkers constitute threat to our national security. Hawking of drug is one of the main causes of drug abuse, as victims continue to fetch drugs from unregistered and unregulated hawkers. Consequently, drug abusers soon succumb to the dilemma of depression, personality disorders, suicidal thoughts, mental disorder, sleep problems, organ failure, damaged immune system, memory loss, anxiety, social and economic problems. NAFDAC hereby warns those involved in the nefarious act of hawking drugs to desist from this illegal act or face the wrath of the law. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
You are still watching NAFDAC and Your Health.
As NAFDAC strives to ensure that only approved food products, drugs, chemicals, controlled substances, and other regulated products are made available for public consumption and use under stipulated NAFDAC guidelines, the agency has in place measures to bring to book erring citizens who contravene the stipulated guidelines of NAFDAC as enshrined in the law that backs NAFDAC's operations. It was in this regard that officials of NAFDAC from the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate from the Kaduna office of the agency swooped on Maxcare Pharmacy, Abuja recently on a tip-off that Schedule 1 narcotics were being stored and sold in the pharmaceutical store.
By our constitution, it's only the federal government that has the right to bring in Schedule 1 narcotics like betadine, codeine, and morphine. All other health institutions are supposed to go to the Federal Medical School under the Federal Ministry of Health to purchase their Schedule 1 narcotics for the needs of their patients. However, we receive an intelligence that this premises is into sales and stocking of Schedule 1 narcotics. That is the reason why we are here. And surprisingly, we got one of the Schedule 1 narcotics being stocked inside these premises. And also, we went ahead and do a thorough search in the premises, and we discovered a lot of pharmaceutical products inside these premises, as you can see them displayed here.
Pharmacist Audu Baba explained in details what Schedule 1 narcotics mean and why their ails are controlled by NAFDAC.
Yes, Schedule 1 narcotics are products that are dependent. As you can see from this dihydrocodeine that we got, it's written can cause addiction. because it contains opioid. That is why it is a controlled drug. It's not everybody that is allowed to handle it. As a pharmacist, you are supposed to abide by the rules and regulations of the handling of Schedule 1 narcotics. Like in the premises here, let me have that here. This is what we call poison disposal book. In this book, there are columns whereby if you dispense any narcotics, you write the name and quantity of the poison disposed, the name and address of the receiver, that is the patient that has received the product, as well as the purpose of which the product is being given, and the signature of the pharmacist that dispenses it. Why we do that is that during the International Narcotics Board meeting, every country is given a specific quantity of these products for the needs of their country. So at the end of the year, the Narcotics and Controlled Substances Directorate of the NAFDAC do go back for a meeting to tell them how we utilize this quantity that was given to us in Nigeria. That is the reason why it's not supposed to be purchased by any other person apart from the Federal Ministry of Health, so that there should be control. Because they are addictive substances, they can cause addiction, and it will fall on the wrong hand. That is the reason why most of these security challenges that we are having. Who knows? Maybe these are some of the people that supply them.
The Deputy Director from the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate of NAFDAC also valued the cost of other unregistered products found in the pharmaceutical store.
The rough estimate, it will be up to $30 million with the current economic situation we have in the country. Because there are some expensive products that have been brought in through illegal routes. They are not registered by the agency. And most of them are not even meant for this our environment. Some of them are from Turkey. They are meant for the Asian country. Drugs, because of the handling and storage condition, they have been manufactured for a specific region, taking into consideration the storage condition of that region. We have regulatory sanctions as well as our guidelines based on our law. After our investigation is concluded, regulatory sanctions are going to be followed. But all we are interested now is to continue with our investigation to find out how these products come into the country, and at the same time, anybody that is involved, they will apply our normal regulatory sanctions and guidelines on it.
This is how far we can go on today's edition of NAFDAC and Your Health. Another insightful and educative package will come your way again, same time, same station, next week. If you have any information, reports, or questions, please do contact us.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Remember, it is criminal to import, produce, distribute, market, or sell unwholesome food products, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment. By so doing, you are endangering the lives of the people. Let us join hands together to eradicate these crimes from our society. We'll return again next week. Stay healthy.